sensory bin ideas. Now, sensory bins are just bins or large bowls or trays of a specific object or groups of objects that create a sensory experience for children. Now, these are objects that they can manipulate with their hands. They can pour them from one bowl to the next. They can put them into small containers. They can use spoons or large tweezers. Just a number of different things that they can do, but ultimately it's that sensory experience for just brain activity and connection. Now, for a child with sensory processing disorder, this can actually be something that's very calming for a child. It could be something that they can go to throughout the day to just refocus their brain, to calm everything down, to get them back into a focused state so they can resume their school studies at that point. It's also something that you can use with preschoolers that are theme-based, that can coordinate with some of the books you're reading or topics you're learning about. Or it could be something that you use during homeschool time for your littles. So as you're working with the big kids, it's something they can do nearby that will entertain them for quite a while and just stimulate some creativity and imaginative play. So I'm going to share these ideas. If you have your preschool bucket planner, I want to encourage you to turn to the sensory activities page. This is a good place to jot down any ideas for the bins that would be a good fit for you and your family. Now, keep in mind your child's abilities, your child's age. If they're still putting a lot of things in their mouths, then you do want to be cognizant of that and avoid some of those smaller objects. But first things first, this is something that I have always ready to go. So it's like a stackable, connected container bin. And on the top part, I have all of these different items that can be used for things like Play-Dohs. So any type of doughy type substance, these would go with it to help stimulate that play. So they're mainly cookie cutters, some Play-Doh molds of some sort, some food ones here. And so basically I'll just grab the Play-Doh, grab this, and they're good to go. And so I put the Play-Doh in a bowl of some sort, and they know that to play with it and then put it all back when they're done. Now, the next one down here is just filled with containers. So in here, I just have different bowls. These are just from an old camping kit. I have measuring spoons. I have just little containers that I thought were really cute with lids on them, spoons, and measuring spoons. And so it's just a variety of containers that they can use to pour, to sort and categorize, and just to stimulate that imaginative play. Now this I will give to them with a specific sensory item. And so some examples of that would be beans. So dried foods like beans are really great. This would go in the larger bowl, and then they can play with it from there. Another favorite is lima beans. So lima beans, black beans, these are a lot of fun. They can color coordinate them, they can mix and match them, pour them, play with them, and then again, just feeling them could also provide some of that sensory stimulation as needed. Another thing I have in this bin, oh, let me just show this. So this is where I'm collecting everything. So I just throw these things in as I create them, and then I can just grab and go. It is so easy. It's something that I don't have to plan all the time, and I just set it out throughout the day, and then I put it away at the end. They put everything back, and it just makes it so easy to do. All right, so let me pull out a few more items here. This one is just a collection that the kids put together. So this one has rocks from the rivers that we visited or creeks. Has seashells that we got at the beach over the past few weeks that we were out there. This is a sand dollar. And so I'll just set this out with a bowl of water. Oh my goodness, they love playing with water. So a bowl of water, and then of course the containers, and they get to play. Like I said, there are other things that they've collected in here, like rocks and so forth. So we just collect them, put them in here, and then let them experience it all over again. The next thing that we have in here are large jingle bells. I cannot tell you how much the kids love these jingle bells. They pretend that they are spaghetti and meatballs. They will play with yarn, so sometimes I'll set up some yarn. They'll string them sometimes, create all sorts of necklaces, and yeah, just have a whole lot of fun with large jingle bells. And again, they offer that sensory stimulation with the auditory senses, tactile, and so forth. Also have these beads. These are like the plant beads that they sell. Got these at Hobby Lobby, I think. But I set these out in a bowl with some water. And then I love these little animal kits. So this one's specific to ocean animals. And so it just has a lot of little ocean animals. You can get these in the tubes as well. So I'll share a link to those on the site. But yeah, just water, some of the rocks and beads, and these little animals. Lots and lots of imaginative play. And again, the different textures of the animals versus the beads versus the water just really creates that sensory experience. Next one I have larger seashells as well. So some of the larger ones, we do have smaller ones too. Rice. Now this can get messy, so if you're not a fan of huge messes, you might want to take this one outside or skip it altogether. But this is colored rice. I found that works just as well as regular rice, but we did try this one time and it was a lot of fun. I set this out in one of these trays that I've shared in another video, but these trays are amazing for all of this too. But we just colored it different colors, and again, they just pour, mix, and match and do whatever they choose with it. Now, this rice is super easy to make. All you do is grab a Ziploc bag and put in a tablespoon of vinegar, about 3 to 4 drops of food coloring, and a cup of rice, and just shake it up, kind of mix it all together, pour it out on paper towels so that it's nice and flat and dries out, and the next day you get your colored rice to play with. All right, so next, don't have a place to put all this. Underoos. So I haven't seen these kits in a while, but they're these little waxy kind of substance, like yarn-like things that stick together, and you can create all sorts of things with them. So this will keep them engaged for a long, long time. They made a hamburger here, as you can see. And I guess roses, there's another one. So anyway, these are great. I'll find a link to share with you on the site if you're interested in looking these up, but these are a lot of fun. We also have water beads. So if you haven't seen water beads, these you would put in water. You'd leave them for a few hours and they absorb the water and become about the size of a marble. And so you get all these little squishy, wet beads to play with in water, and it just creates an amazing sensory experience for playing and, you know, pouring and all sorts of stuff. But I will warn you, if your kids put anything in their mouth, you don't want to give this to them. Because it absorbs liquids, it can absorb that if swallowed and create an obstruction in the gut. So keep that in mind, but water beads are a ton of fun if your children are able to play with this without putting it in their mouths. Other things, pipe cleaners. So just giving them pipe cleaners to hang out with, and with the colander is a lot of fun too. So they'll just kind of sit with it, pull them through, make all sorts of designs with it, and so forth. So you can do this. We also have, I shared that. Okay, so this is a game. This isn't just for little kids. This is actually a game called Locust. It's so much fun. It's a logic game for older kids, but I have found that my littles love to play with this just for imaginative play. They will create all sorts of structures and animals and creative scenes on here, and so it's these little bitty blocks, if you will, shapes, just different shapes. They're different sizes, you see that, and so they fit perfectly onto these grids. They slide on and they click into place, and so they can move them around, they can manipulate them, different colors, and so it's just a lot of fun. We've done all sorts of stuff with it. Here we're just trying to fill the grid, kind of like Tetris style, as much as possible, and so just a lot of fun. they usually play with this with that tray that separates the colors, and so they'll start off with separating the colors and then mixing and matching the shapes to create all sorts of different designs here. Now, if you like something a little fancier, Mad Matter is something that is a lot of fun. I'm going to pull up a piece here, but you can see it's malleable, but it holds its shape pretty well. So it doesn't dry out, so you can actually just leave it out all day and leave it in a bowl and it won't dry out like Play-Doh. And it's just something that they sell different molds with, and you can actually create a number of different things with it. And the last one here is Floof. So this is a little stickier. It's kind of like the Mad Matter, but it is a little more fluffy. You can kind of see that texture there. So there it is. So it's a little bit more snow-like. Sometimes I'll bring out the animals that are like our winter animals tube, and they just create a winter scene with it. Now this does stick a little bit, so you want to have clean, dry hands to play with this. But the good thing is it does dissolve in water. So when you're done with it, you just rinse it off and it dissolves and goes away. But again, I wouldn't recommend this if they like to eat it or put it in their mouths. But lots of fun for another sensory bin. That's all I generally have, guys. I keep it as simple as possible. It's just something like, here are your beads, here's your bin, go. And that's it. I don't get into theme-based bins. Of course, that's a possibility and it's great and all that. I just don't have the time for that. But I will say that the best sensory experience for your children is, of course, outside. So if you can make that a priority to get outside every single day and let them feel the wind on their face and touch the grass and touch the worms or whatever's out there, that is the ultimate sensory experience. Send them out with their containers, let them collect rocks, let them collect grasses, let them collect seeds or flowers or petals and leaves and all sorts of stuff. If you live near a body of water, getting out to a creek or a river or a beach is also really, really great. Being out in God's creation just is so calming and soothing, and it is so good for our children. So I want to encourage that most of all, but these are just some great things to put together for the days that you can't get out, or for the days when you do need to get on with your homeschooling and want to have something engaging for your children to do, or to help calm them if they need that extra sensory experience. So hope that was helpful. I'd love to hear your thoughts as well, so please share your favorite sensory bins in the comments below.